Hello and welcome. You are with Zero MT once again. We're going to do things a little bit differently this time because I have a couple of launch announcements to share and hopefully can do it in a laid-back fashion. The first announcement is that the song that we're hearing in this background is a new mix of a song called Hypnos that I did a few years ago. The first few notes of that has been part of my intro for a while. I hope to release another mix of it on Bandcamp soon, but the one playing now is intended to be exclusive to my YouTube channel, to this channel right here. The next announcement are that the slides that you are watching dissolving through one another, they are mostly classical works of art or digitally treated nature photos that I've assembled into a pseudo-random slow-mo sort of slideshow to use as a background for my videos. I'm hoping to use this on some future videos, and I'll say a little bit more about that at the end. And lastly, the central announcement here, as you've probably seen, the URL and screenshots appearing already through this bit of video are promoting the launch of my new website, the Audient Weird. As you can see, the URL just has two words, Audient, A-U-D-I-E-N-T, and Weird, W-E-I-R-D.com. So the Audient Weird, it's my homemade showcase of weird fiction authors, audiobooks, podcasts, music, etc. Really just a way for me to share with you some of the cool things I've found online, especially while looking for cosmic horror or weird fiction stories, or things to listen to while I'm working, even while I'm going to sleep, places to get good ideas for when we're playing D&D or Call of Cthulhu or some of our own role-playing games. And basically whenever we're taking, figurative fictional trips up or down the Miskatonic River, through the Gothic imagination of some of these amazing authors who really broke into this genre about 100, 150 years ago and are often approached, perhaps never really even equaled since then. So podcasts, music, videos, games, almost anything else in that genre are fair game. You see Lovecraft and Cthulhu everywhere. Obviously, there's going to be a fair amount of that on my site. It's not dedicated to that author in particular, but probably no one more than him exemplifies the cosmic horror, the deep, awed listening, as Lovecraft himself put it, that inspired the site. There are a lot of other things about him that are more banal forms of horror, like being afraid of your neighbor or being afraid some lady's going to hit on you or something. We're not going to look into any of that at all. That's not it's not a celebration of Lovecraft. It's a celebration of a lot of the amazing sort of infinite vastness that he invented in his best, most imaginative tales. So I'm going to just do a brief demo of the site. I've tried to make it very simple and accessible. Hopefully I'm not going to change this very much. I don't have a lot of time to work on it, but hopefully this is something that you can just click through whenever you feel like it and find some cool stuff to listen to, maybe to read or games to play, etc. Hello my friends, let's demo this site. We're going to open up a browser that can be anything. We're going to go to the audientweird.com. Audient means a thing that can hear. Weird, of course, means strange, or it's another adjective, but it's also a noun. It means fate or destiny, as in The Weird of the White Wolf, which is a really cool novel by Michael Moorcock. Okay, when you get here, this is what you should see. About 3 columns of content and some nav and some hopefully interesting links. I'm going to talk you through this. I am sententious. This may take 8 or 9 minutes. I'm going to be as quick as I can. The menus move you from one column to another. Every time you click on one of these, we'll click on Dreamy Dozing. Dreamy Dozing appears here, flashes briefly, and gives us a list of articles. Every column is a list of articles in reverse chronological order. The newest is at the top, and then they go down from there. You can directly experience these by clicking on the YouTube embeds or the links in them. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about those links. But before I do that, let me explain that some of these are larger articles. Let's see, there's one that I recently posted about the autopsy by Michael Shea. So this is a fantastic story. It's one of T.E.D. Klein's scariest stories. And Morgan Scorpion has done a really cool reading for us. So this is information. You could find out information on Morgan. You could listen to these things directly by clicking the embeds. But if there's a little too much here for you to see on your screen, depending on the device that you're using, I've tried to make this fairly resizable. But 3 columns per page can be a lot. So just click on the title or the date, and it will take you to a page that is only for that content. It will make it a lot easier to see if it's a larger article. This lets you zoom in on particular articles. I'll explain a little bit more about that later. If you click on the YouTube link, it will act exactly as you expect. It will begin playing YouTube. If you click on these links that generally are not preceded by a triangle, it looks just like a regular link, this will take you to my detailed page on that person. Right now I have maybe a dozen of these. I hope to have a lot more, but these are my personal summaries of why I like this author, reader, video game, whatever I'm reviewing. This is my more detailed version of it. It's too much for a simple article, so it's linked this way. If you click the X or you click outside of it, boom, it's gone. You're back to the site. I'm not doing a lot of tracking of history or anything. You're just always going to go back to the site, and hopefully you'll be able to find whatever you need by scrolling down from the top. I am going to try to enable some viewing of historical information once there is too much to easily scroll to. Right now, I don't know, we've got 3-4 dozen items in here, not too hard to navigate manually. Link outs, let me tell you about that. Any of these that have a triangle preceding them, it looks a little bit like a play button. When you click on this is going to take you to another site. Now, you are still on my site, but you have opened a new tab, a new page to the site you clicked on. In this case, it's Clay Temple Media's Elder Sign podcast, which is really cool literary criticism podcast where very, very well-informed hosts dissect in great detail some amazing stories from a lot of amazing authors. That's the kind of thing I want to link for you here, give you easy access to. The last thing I guess I need to describe before we get into technicalities is the glossary. And this link is simply, it's over here on the right, and you click on glossary, and it just gives you a quick and dirty access to any of the detailed pages that I've written. I honestly would like to fill this completely up. I would like for there to be a scroll bar. Right now I only have, not even quite a dozen things, but I have some details about H.P. Lovecraft's short story Nyarlathotep, which is in the public domain, so I've actually included the entire text of it. He has a really cool, very verbose essay called Supernatural Horror in Literature. That was too much for me. I didn't want to link all 28 words or reproduce all 28,000 words right here in my site. So here's the link to the full text. This is very illustrative. It's a big bite to take at once. So what I'm going for here on my site are smaller bites, things that you can dive in right away, listen to an hour, couple hours. In a few cases, there are really large links, but I want you to have something you can listen to go to sleep to, have something you can listen to while you work, and I will try to very succinctly summarize each of these as we do them. The last thing I want to say, I guess there are two things that I want to say. In the glossary, you will find 0MT linked. That's me. I'm your host, And I want to have links to my Bandcamp site where I have music. I also want to have links to my YouTube channel, which is where I'm coordinating this. I'm not on Facebook. I don't do social media. Post your comments and everything on my YouTube site, and what I hope will appear down here is a link directly to this video that I'm currently making. Chicken and the egg, it's not made yet, so there's no link to it yet. Any information you need, click on it. I want this to be as accessible as possible. When I send the links out, when and if I send the links out, there may be a link that has in the query string, now we're talking technical stuff slightly, a detail. If I include the detail for Poe, EA, then we're going to see my detailed write-up of Edgar Allan Poe. It's certainly not completely thorough, but it gives you my impressions of him and my great respect for him, I hope. Also, I'm sad that he had the premature death that he had, the difficulties with alcohol, etc. Tried to capture a little bit of this. Click out of that, you're back to the site. The only other sort of link that I'm currently able to send out is one that links to only a particular article. I'm using codes that correspond to dates to identify these, so they're not guaranteed unique, but the dates I'm using are somewhat random. You'll see there's only one article associated with that. It's only this story about the injudicious prayers of Pombo the Idolater, one of Dunsany's shorter but very clever stories. You want more information on Dunsany? Click, there it is. Now you have a lot more information. He was one of Lovecraft's primary influences. Those are the kind of links that I can send out, and I hope to send out a lot more. I'm doing this as a labor of love. If you have any comments for me, link them to this video that hopefully you're watching right now and is introducing you to the site. I really appreciate your time. I hope for a lot of you this can be your silver key. This can be the way you access some of the really new, cool re-emergence, the renaissance we're seeing right now of both classic and new weird fiction. So I'm not really active on social media at all. That's going to be difficult for me. What I've decided to do to work around that is to make this video, this particular video right here, and its comment section, the focal point of contact for the Audient Weird. If you've got compliments, criticisms, just please post them here. Try to be merciful with or constructive with criticisms, because the site's a labor of love and I can only give into it at most what I can get out of it. If you like the song Hypnos that you've been hearing, keep an eye on my Bandcamp site. I hope to release a mix of that soon. In the meantime, please feel free to try out any of the other songs I've already posted there, and I'll have a link in the show notes below. If you like the slideshow, I'm planning to use similar ones in future videos, like I said, but if the slideshow itself is attractive to you, I can produce one that doesn't advertise my site, that's really just this classic art background. It's fairly long, and release it here under some what are hopefully some nice licensing terms for other people to use, with hopefully just with a little bit of attribution, but certainly no royalties or anything like that. I am able to do that if people are interested, so let me know if folks are interested in that sort of thing, and I will try to put together maybe one or two such shows. If what I'm doing here actually really clicks with you and you want to send me dollars, you want to support me financially, that's awesome. Thank you very much. Please don't feel like that you need to. Please also remember that almost everything linked out there is from folks who deserve more support than I do. But if you actually want to support me at all, you can do that right now. The best way is just by Bandcamp. Go out there and pay or overpay. Whenever you overpay for anything out there, it counts as a tip to the artist. Buy any of my stuff out there. Right now there's just one album. I hope to have a lot more before too long, and I really appreciate you considering it. If you've got couple thousand friends, that feel the same, also let them know. Because like I said, I'm not really into social media. I pretty much can't stand Facebook, etc. So word of mouth is the only way this will ever go anywhere. Anyway, so thank you for your interest. Thank you for your time. Hopefully some of those announcements come as good news to you. Like the video. That will help my ego. Comment on it as constructively as you can, please. But if you've got friends who are interested in this same genre, there's an amazing amount of things to discover out there. And hopefully this is a good step in that direction. Thanks, everyone. Until we meet again, stay healthy, be well.